Okay, as follows. Adequate notice of this December the 12th, 2013 meeting has been provided in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act by posting written and notice and agenda of the meeting on the bulletin board in this municipal building, 1000 Route 10, Whippany, Township of Hanover, and by hand delivering, mailing, or faxing notice and agenda to the following newspapers: the Hanover Eagle, Morris County's Daily Record, and the Star Ledger, and by filing same with the Township Clerk. Have a roll call.
Committeeman Schleifer.
Here.
Committeeman Faramasca.
Here.
Committeeman Bruno.
Here.
Committeeman Capola.
Here.
And Mayor Francioli.
Here.
5 members in attendance, sir.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, would you all please rise, those that can, and join me in a pledge of allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Please be seated. Okay. Jacqueline, all right. Gentlemen, we have an honor this evening to present a plaque of recognition for 4+ years of service as a member of the Landmark Commission to Jacqueline Winters. Jacqueline, absolutely wonderful. George and I were talking about the work of Landmark, and George shared with us so much of the work that you've just done on your recent brochure as well. And we'd like to present you with this plaque tonight for all of the service that you provided. Very good. George.
Yeah.
Do that.
Hey, come on in.
Oh, you, all right. Whoops.
Sure, join us, please.
I want to steal your thunder.
No, Mac. Jackie has been an excellent addition. Okay, she's now addressing her time.
But you know what?
Oh, in the middle?
Throughout the building, all the time. The system is so I have to have a heater on all day.
Jackie is now addressing much of her time. PTA and
PTA, the
PTA
most stuff.
and
Wear a bulletproof vest.
PTA, and all other school activities. Right? She has been an excellent addition.
Put a 220 just to supplement
Much
it.
of the plaque that we have over at Tier 1, a lot of work for
All done that way. It works.
Thank you.
Absolutely super
Thank
group.
you.
Just dump it in and burn it.
Jackie.
Hardwire it. Put it
Oh,
on
my
the top,
God.
right?
Oh, thank you.
He could, and you can turn the heat, you know, the thermostat down, and then the other heat goes on. Okay, that's right. Remember first.
Okay. Gentlemen, I'd like to open the meeting to the public for any items not appearing on the agenda. Motion to open.
So moved. Second?
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the floor is open. If you'd like to address the Township Committee at this time, please do so from the podium, giving us your name and address for the record. Hey, Joe. Nothing? Oh, he's watching. He wants to. You want me to? You want me? You want me to beat the record?
Motion to close?
Son of a gun.
Move it close.
Motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Wow.
That was fast.
Mr. Administrator.
Thank you, Mayor. We have the approval of Township Committee minutes, the regular minutes of November 14th and November 25th. That should be a correction. Instead of November 24th, it's November 25th. And the bid reception committee meeting of December 10th. May we have a motion?
So moved.
So
Second.
moved by Mr. Capola, seconded by Mr. Bruno. On roll call, Mr. Schleifer.
Aye.
Mr. Faramasca.
Aye.
Mr. Bruno.
Aye.
Mr. Capola.
Aye.
And Mr. Francioli.
Aye.
And ladies and gentlemen, we now proceed to departmental reports. The following reports are available for public inspection in the Office of the Business Administrator, Township Clerk. They include the report of the Township's Human Resource Specialist for all activities conducted during the month of November, the Township's Chief Municipal Finance Officer, in his capacity as Treasurer, has submitted 2 reports as of the 25th of November and December 12th on the summary of all budget revenues collected by the Finance Department. The Township's Property Maintenance Officer has submitted 2 reports on all her activities for the period ending November 25th and December 11th. Chief of Police has submitted a report on all the activities conducted by the department in the month of November. And finally, we have two building department reports from the construction official for all activities conducted during the months of October and November. And finally, the Superintendent of Public Works, Buildings and Grounds, and Park Maintenance has submitted his reports for all their projects performed during the month of November. Ladies and gentlemen, we have one ordinance for public hearing this evening. It is docketed as ordinance number 33-13. This amends and supplements salary ordinance 15-213 with the inclusion of a new salary range for the position of Chief of Police for calendar year 2014. We have the proof of publication that the ordinance and the notice of introduction appeared in full in the December 12th issue of the Daily Record. May we have a motion to convene the public hearing?
So moved.
So moved by Mr. Bruno, seconded by Mr. Capola. On roll call, Mr. Schleifer.
Aye.
Mr. Faramasca.
Aye.
Mr. Bruno.
Aye.
Mr. Capola.
Aye.
And Mr. Francioli.
Aye.
Is there anyone present wishing to be heard concerning ordinance number 33-13? Seeing
to
none,
close.
hearing none, we have a motion to close by Mr. Francioli, seconded by Mr. Capola. To close the public hearing on roll call, Mr. Schleifer.
Aye.
Mr. Faramasca.
Aye.
Mr. Bruno.
Aye.
Mr. Capola.
Aye.
And Mr. Francioli.
Aye.
Now on...
Just so everyone's aware, Joe, on this one, this is driven by our agreement and settlement with superior officers, and what this does is it sets a wage separation between ranks, so that there's a percentage difference between sergeant to lieutenant, there's a percentage difference between lieutenant and captain, and a fixed percentage difference between captain and the chief. And so whatever one of those ranks is affected by any wage change, it's like a domino theory that percentage of difference between the ranks is going to be maintained all the way up. So this is not an increase that was negotiated on the basis of just the salary increase for any one officer. Thank you.
Thank you. Now on adoption, be it resolved that an ordinance entitled an ordinance of the Township Committee amending and supplementing ordinance number 15-2013 and Chapter 61 of the Code of the Township entitled Salaries and Compensation, Personnel Policies, with the inclusion of a new salary range for the position of Chief of Police, be passed on final reading, and that a notice of the final passage of the ordinance be published in the December 19th issue of the Daily Record in accordance with law. May we have a motion on adoption?
So moved.
So moved by Mr. Bruno, second by Mr. Capola. On roll call, Mr. Schleifer.
Aye.
Mr. Faramasca.
Aye.
Mr. Bruno.
Aye.
Mr. Capola.
Aye.
And Mr. Francioli.
Aye.
So adopted. Ladies and gentlemen, there are no ordinances for introduction this evening. We now have resolutions as a consent agenda. Are there any questions from members of the governing body concerning any of the resolutions?
They be approved.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Capola
Second.
to approve the consent agenda, seconded by Mr. Faramasca. On roll call for approval, Mr. Schleifer.
Aye.
Mr. Faramasca.
Aye.
Mr. Bruno.
Aye.
Mr. Capola.
Aye.
And Mr. Francioli.
Aye.
So approved. Raffle applications that are listed as item 10, also as a consent agenda. Any questions on any of the raffle applications? Hearing none, may we have a motion for
So
approval?
moved.
So moved by Mr. Faramasca.
Second.
Second by Mr. Capola. On roll call, Mr. Schleifer.
Aye.
Mr. Faramasca.
Aye.
Mr. Bruno.
Aye.
Mr. Capola.
Aye.
Mr. Francioli.
Aye.
And he may have a record tonight.
Just playing beat the clock.
Payment of bills, $4,469,495.54.
All right, make a motion, we pay the bills.
We have that motion by
Second.
Mr. Schleifer, seconded by Mr. Bruno. On roll call, Mr. Schleifer.
Aye.
Mr. Faramasca.
Aye.
Mr. Bruno.
Aye.
Mr. Capola.
Aye.
And Mr. Francioli.
Aye.
Mr. Chairman, that clears the agenda of the administrator clerk, and I thank
Oh,
you.
my God. Anybody bring cards? We want, the
Well, we'll go for time.
gentleman at this time, is there any other business from the Township Committee?
Couple things from Recreation, if I may.
You may.
Saturday, we have our, I think the last meeting I may have announced that our Recreation Christmas party was the 15th. In fact, it's the 14th. It's this Saturday from 2 to 4. Christmas party and activities for kids of all ages. And that will take place regardless of the weather. In fact, the snow is anticipated, but everybody's local, and since we don't want to postpone it, we wouldn't be able to do it another date. Please put it on the calendar if you're able, between 2 and 4 at the Recreation Center. There is a mailbox out front for letters to Santa Claus that will be accepting letters up until the 18th. We are assured that Santa will respond to each and every letter that's dropped in the box. So we have a direct pipeline to the North Pole. But please drop the letters by the 18th. Also, Toys for Tots is continuing. There has been one pickup. I believe there's boxes stationed not only in the rec center, but in the police department and here in the town hall as well. So if you're feeling charitable this Christmas season, and we hope you are, please bring an unwrapped toy for a child of any age. And then the last thing, and we do have a lot from Recreation tonight, there are some new basketball clinics for kindergarten through second graders by popular demand. We didn't start anything for the little kids till third grade, but a lot of people in town want to get their kids out of the house and playing sports. So for those who may be watching or have children or grandchildren, we are going to have some basketball for kindergarten and second grade, both boys and girls. Thank you very much.
Very good, thank you. Thank you, very good. Any other comments?
Yeah, I
George?
just, one quick one, on behalf of the Landmark Commission. They've really been very active. They've put together a beautiful brochure that they're hoping to move forward with. Mike, the committee's going to give us some time for a presentation, half hour. But I'm very happy to note that it's really a significant landmark in our town, and once it's completed, it's going to be really a very nice attraction, which will be in all of our hotels within the interlocal areas, as well as on their computers. And I thank the committee for their support.
Thanks, George, very good. Kenny? Nothing? Okay. I just want to remind everyone that, and some might have already received it, we recently released a year-end summary for the state of Hanover, and it has been posted on our website.
Correct.
All right, it's posted on our website. You can go to www.hanovertownship.com and pick up on a lot of facts and a lot of opinions from the Township Committee on 2013 and some forecasts for 2014. It discusses everything from our issues with traffic and regional traffic issues, as well as housing. Covers a lot of our new commercial developments, current status of our Bayer folks and friends, and our new ShopRite as well. And hopefully gives you a lot of information for questions that you probably had over the years and haven't had the opportunity to come right here to get those answers. And by the way, right here is every second and fourth Thursday of every month. Just want to remind everyone, meetings start at 8:30 here at Township Committee, and you're cordially invited to attend. Not only to attend, you're more than invited to participate and give us your comments on that point. Lastly, and there's been so much questions of us about what's going on in our township, both our Whippany area and Cedar Knolls, etc., with the post office. And as we know, our Whippany post office has been closed for quite some time now, over a year, since Sandy, since the flood. I have been in touch, and thank you to Rodney Frelinghuysen, Congressman Frelinghuysen, put us in touch with the marketing arm of the U.S. Post Office. We had a conference call a few days ago. They do not intend, unfortunately, for mail delivery to open up the Whippany Post Office. Their intention is to keep the current satellite post office, current Cedar Knolls post office operating as a business post office. You can buy stamps, you can bring your packages, you can do business at the post office. There'll be no mail delivery out of Cedar Knolls, but it will be kept open for those purposes. They are actively looking for other opportunities to open postal services within the township, large facilities like our CVS, or if we had any other large retail outlet that would be interested in having a postal satellite within there, they're more than willing to help establish that. Won't help us with the mail delivery. Mail delivery for most of us is coming out of Morristown. Upper sections of Trailwoods, et cetera, is coming out of Morris Plains. We still have problems that I know of with the lateness of mail delivery. In the conversations that I've had with the postmaster, mail delivery in this township should be complete by 5 o'clock. That is not happening. I left for my meeting tonight, and I will tell the Postmaster General that my mail was not in my mailbox as of 6:15, 6:30. So that being the case, the administrator and I will be back in touch with the Postmaster General regarding the tardiness of the mail situation. That's all I have for you on that. For now, I hope to give you more information in the future on that, but thank you. Got a motion for opening the floor
So
once
moved.
again.
Second.
Moved and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, floor is open. Okay, name and address for the record.
Jim Neidhart, 3414 Appleton Way, Whippany. Don't want to break your record there of the shortest meeting on record, but I do have one question. I noticed on the consent agenda that you retained a firm
Lift that-
for up to
Lift that
30...
microphone up that way. Yeah.
You retained the brush fire firm for
Yes.
up to $32,000 for education, unification, and branding?
Yes.
And I know the firm, they're a very good firm. They did the Chris Christie Greater Than the Storm, Bigger Than the Storm, Stronger Than the Storm campaign. They're a very good firm. I was just curious what was included in this particular assignment. Specifically, does it include website development, and to what extent the website development, if it is part of it, what percentage of that might be of the total
For some
cost?
time now, at least a year, the EDAC, Economic Development Committee, has been now focusing on more aggressively on an issue of branding, name identification for Hanover Township. Now, everyone might say, well, you know, what's so complicated about that? What's complicated about that is that Hanover Township, unlike East Hanover that has one post office and one name and one East Hanover, and they're known as East Hanover, Hanover is known as Whippany, Hanover is known as Convent Station, Hanover is known as Cedar Knolls, Hanover is known as Morris Plains. And what this is intended to do, and particularly for a commercial audience, and particularly to help EDAC in moving forward with more visibility for Hanover, is to get our name, Hanover Township, out there in front of the commercial public. What are they going to do? Both firms, Brigham Associates and Brushfire, submitted full proposals. The grassroots of the proposal starts almost with a survey within the community to establish some more parameters on what the community feels is the greater issue with this name identification. Part of the initial proposal is to prepare an aggressive plan, whether it's with print media, whether it's with social media, and it will include social media. A part of that plan will be a public relations component. This is the early stages of that, and that's what those fees are for. Brushfire, as you know the firm. Brushfire, we're learning more about them. I know of them professionally. They're a spin-off of a firm some time ago, Gilbert, Whitney and Johns. They're a very accomplished firm. They have national brands, if not international brands. We will be meeting shortly with an account team. We want to get to know our account team. We know we're not going to be the biggest account they have, but we know we have goals and we have a mission that has to be attained. We have to meet with the account team. Let's make sure of the chemistry going forward. But those dollars that you see allocated tonight are the early expenditures. That's without paid media.
Right.
Paid media is going to have to be looked at cautiously. A quarterly newsletter is going to be back in circulation. We understand a lot of people go to the web and read what they need to about Hanover Township on the web for a newsletter. It's not as effective as something that you and I get on the kitchen table quarterly and almost are forced to read. So we're going to go back to the newsletter. We'll have parameters for what will be in the newsletter. I could go on for another half an hour about what this is going to be, but I'm going to stop right there. But I hope that answered, some of
Well,
the
I was curious if the website redevelopment project is separate and apart from this.
The website development project is I would say it's in its final stages, final stages of being completed. We have a format, they have a template. They have some final questions regarding the website with the developer as far as incorporating a lot of our other departments, et cetera, and they're going to work those out. I'm hopeful, as economic development is, and John, I think you speak this as well, that the new site, hopefully in early stages of 2014, will be up and running. So that's what we're looking for there. So hopefully we're going to be hitting on all 8 cylinders with both print media, social media, the website, et cetera, and there should be no reason in the world for any one of our residents not to be fully informed, in the future.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else would like to be heard at this time? From the podium? Good.
Mike Chuknicki, 57 Oak Boulevard.
Oh, Mike, pull that microphone down to you because it...
Mike Chuknicki, 57 Oak Boulevard, Chairman of the Landmark Commission. You had mentioned the website development is almost in final stages, and the Landmark
I
Commission...
can just about hear Mike.
Yeah.
I think you want the microphone up.
The Landmark Commission has some requirements that we would like to get into the website development. I had met with...
Landmark? By all means.
The idea is simple. One of the things is to have a screen that looks like the township with numbers. And you push number 1, it says, let me tell you all about the burying ground. And by the way, we'll show you who's in there, and we'll have someone talk to you about it and about all of the historical things that we have. Because kids naturally turn to, websites to learn. And so we have so much in the archive room, it's to get it onto a site is very much in our minds. Second thing is you were describing the brush fire to get Hanover Township's name out. The committee has the summary of the various things that we're trying to do over the next 10 years, and some of them might be of interest to the brush fire company in that they're synergistic.
Oh, I'm sure they're going to do a lot of research, both externally and internally. There's no
Okay.
question about that. Yeah, that's part of the proposal in the early stages before they put together a complete, plan of how they plan to go about this. As far as Landmark is concerned, and George can follow through with this with you, you will certainly have a place on the new website, and you will have a format, though. You'll have a look consistent with every other department and the home page for the website. We're trying to consolidate a look. Right now, if you go on Hanover Township, we're sort of disenfranchised in all of our different areas. Our police have a look. Our Board of Health has a look. Every one of our departments. This will bring everything together. This will be a series of links on the home page that make it very easy for you to get the information you need. Need something from the tax office, there'll be a place, boom, where you can go to, take you right in there. If you need information on agendas, planning board, whatever, boom. We have it now. It's just going to streamline it so that, and you'll have an opportunity, Landmark will have an opportunity to contribute content to that as well.
Mike should contact Kelly. Mike should
Oh, yeah,
contact
Kelly, Mike Kelly Shantz is our lead person on this website. So I highly suggest maybe through Landmark, if you want your secretary or you to contact her, or maybe bring her into one of your meetings and discuss how you can fit into the website.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike. Anyone else like to be heard at this time?
Hello, my name is Fred Partridge. I live at 805 Delwood Lane in the Oak Ridge Townhouses. I've been here a couple of times before on the same subject, having to do with the erosion of the Whippany River bank, which is adjacent to our property. I was here over a year ago. I understand that the river property is owned by the Morris County Parks Commission, so I've been to that commission meeting, and I'll be going again Monday night to find out. Over a year ago, they said that the Eden Lane property was being developed, and there was a possibility of that developer rerouting the Whippany River. So it was our thought that perhaps the developer would undertake the shoring up of the right river bank, which is against our property. But I walk through there periodically, I keep an eye on it. There's been no significant further erosion since the last time I was here, but it still looks quite precarious, and of course, there's no more development going on. So my question is, what is the future of the Eden Lane property, and can we expect anybody to take over that development that we could apply to shore up the riverbank?
You're talking about the 70...
The old paper mill property.
77 acres of River Park. It's called River Park, but the old Whippany paperboard property?
That's right.
Okay. I can tell you this much. We've had concepts come before us, before the planning board, that the planning board has looked at. Without getting into the concepts for what they're for, be it commercial, be it housing, whatever, the Whippany River is proposed to be reconfigured as it goes through that site and comes out by you. And the dam that's presently there, and this is in concert with the DEP, is, Jerry, correct, is that to be removed at some point? The
dam?
The dam is supposed to...
Yes, they are under
part of the
orders.
agreements with DEP is that dam's going to be removed. And when it is, the channel's going to be totally reconfigured. And I would expect in the engineering process that when that time comes, any areas of erosion, any areas that need immediate attention, I think it would be looked at as part of the whole plan, you know? When is that going to happen? That's your next question. I wish I had that, I wish I could give you that answer. I can tell you that whatever is going to take place on that property, and by the way, there's been 4 approvals for that, 3 approvals for that property already. Flex buildings, 750,000 square feet of commercial office space, now in conjunction with some other approvals through the courts, which is a small amount, some 140-odd residential, age-restricted residential units, et cetera. None of those plans has the owner of the property followed through with. None of those plans. So I can only tell you that the township can only act when the developer acts. If they come before us with an application to go forward, then we'll go forward. That hasn't happened, and the concept that's before us right now is not something that the township committee is very attracted to in its present state. So should I say we're in a state of limbo until the developer decides to do something with that property? Is the condition around you worsening?
I haven't seen it worsen. There's been one large tree which has fallen in. There's several more smaller trees which are right on the precipice, and they've just been sitting there for a year. They look like they're ready to come, but they have not come. It wasn't Hurricane Sandy that caused the damage. It was Irene.
We might be able to get our arborist out there, and you want to get...
In fact, she has, as part of a river cleanup, she's identified that one tree that's laying in the river to remove that, because that also becomes a hazard also. So that tree is getting removed. I also add that the Whippany River Action Committee is making efforts to look into addressing that erosion issue on their own. They're looking into some grant funding and other efforts.
Is there any, are they waiting for funding? Is there any plans?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, they're waiting for maybe some
Here you
funding
go, here you go
opportunities.
again. Yeah.
I'm sorry, that's the Whippany River Action Committee?
Action Committee, yeah.
And whose auspices is that?
It's a multi-community group that addresses issues within the Whippany River. Not only within Hanover, but other towns, and they've identified that as a priority site to address condition.
Who's our representative, Sal Iannico?
Sal, I think it's
We
Sal
can give
Iannico.
you the name and contact information of a gentleman who's the township representative to the Whippany River Action Committee.
Oh, that'd be great.
And he's very involved with it. And he could put you in touch with them, and they can update you even further as to what their plans are for the river. As you know, recently we had Bayer come in, and Bayer cleaned up the Whippany River from the Whippany River Bridge down to the Algonquin Parkway. Took a half a ton of refuse out of there, God bless them. And there's more that has to be done. We've got some issues that we know around the Whippany burying yard too, with erosion. And I guess at some point,
That's an ongoing project also.
Yeah, that is ongoing. We'll give you a contact name at the watershed.
Thank
And they can give you some additional information. But I can't sit here and tell you to bank on the fact that when the river is going to get reconfigured through the Whippany paperboard property.
Well, in the summer of 2012, there was quite a bit of activity back there. Tremendous amount of earth moving and planting going on and irrigation. And then this past summer, there hasn't been anything.
Well, most of what you saw going on was remediation, and most of what you saw going on is cleanup before the change of the DEP regulations.
Okay.
So the landowner wanted to make sure that they complied at this easier stage, because the regulations got a lot tougher, come this year.
Good.
So that's
Oh, I
what
see.
you saw there. And I must tell you, I think they did a pretty good job of landscaping and putting the caps on and doing other things they had to do. So not bad.
Just one last question. When you mentioned the dam to be removed, is that the one that's closer to Central Park and Jefferson Road, or is that the smaller one down here closest to Whippany
Which
Road?
one is this now?
The dam
Sorry?
that's gonna be removed.
There's two dams that I'm thinking of. One is the
Oh, the
big giant
major
concrete
dam up by the lagoons is the one closest to Jefferson Road,
Yeah,
and that's the one they're taking down.
okay, all right.
The other one that you're talking about is the Ironworks Dam. So that's,
Peter.
huh?
That's owned by Chris Peter.
No, that's Chris Peters, but that was the Ironworks.
Yes.
Yeah. That's further down by Route 10. And that dam is owned by Chris Peters, who owns the industrial park across the street from it. And, but it's also a historic site. It was a site of an old ironworks that goes way back from Hanover,
But the ironworks dam will stay, and the concrete dam is the one
Correct.
that you're talking about.
That's the plan.
And then I'll call the office tomorrow morning, but who shall I ask for to get that contact information?
Call me.
Joe Giorgio, the
Giorgio.
administrator, will give you that information, happily give you that information.
Thanks, I'll call you in the morning.
Good.
Thank you.
Hope we could help.
Good.
Okay. Anyone else like to be heard at this time? Motion to close?
So moved. Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion for adjourn?
So moved. Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Did I beat you?
Good job. No, Johnny.
I didn't beat him?
Close. There's no way.
Close, but no cigar.
No way you can.
It was a good run. It was a good run. It
Close,
was a
but
good
no
attempt.
cigar.
It was a good attempt.
I always got to get some constituent with a question. I don't understand it.